Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on Market Today. I am Shailendra Bhatnagar, your host, joining in from New Delhi. First and foremost, आज मंगलवार है तो मंगल ही होगा और इस उम्मीद और इस सोच के साथ let us watch our daily chart that we do every morning, the chart of Nifty, which is there right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. What you see is a mild uptick that happened yesterday. The Nifty closed in positive territory after 8 successive days of fall. Why is 8 an important number in the life of markets? It's a Fibonacci sequence. If the markets fall more than 5 days in a row, then they generally complete the cycle on the 8th day. If the 8th day continues, then the pause happens at 13. Frankly, it was good to see the market bounce fairly sharply from a 6-7 month low of about 22,750. From then on, it was a recovery of 200 points on the Nifty, and it closed mildly in positive territory, 30 points higher at about 22,930. Now, why is this a good development? For the fourth consecutive time, 22,800, 22,700 has been retained by the bulls. That essentially means that a consolidative bound of activity is happening on at least the Nifty. Ditto on the Bank Nifty. The low on the Bank Nifty has held for 3 successive tests. Let us hope that the worst is behind us. Now let us look at cues that are coming in for today. They are mildly positive. You see the US 10-year yield easing at about 4.5%. You see the dollar index at about 106.5, which is way off its earlier peak of 110. These are two positive developments. Wall Street has closed mildly in the green, that is a positive as well, and the DII FII battle continues. But FII net sales total about 3,938 crores. But what is interesting is that purchases fueled by SIPs of retail investors made by domestic institutions are 1.2 times the FII sales. That number stands at 4,760 crores. Given the fact that we have fallen substantially, which is about 14% from Nifty's all-time high, in the case of the mid-cap and the small-cap indices, the losses from the all-time high are more than 20-22%. This is a place for short covering, and possibly you just might see a fairly strong bout of buying in terms of value and covering of shorts at the level of 22,900 on the Nifty. So I'm expecting a bounce, and as over the last 2 or 3 days we've been talking about multi-cap funds, this is again, I repeat, a time to look at quality funds and schemes which buy across the board in terms of assets, whether they are from large caps, mid caps and small caps. This could be a right time for you to look into a multi-cap fund. We've reviewed 2 yesterday, which is Kotak multi-cap fund and SBI multi-cap fund. Over the next several days, this series will continue, where you can get into a quality fund available much below its all-time high, having fabulous set of large caps, mid caps and small caps, which can be purchased either as a lump sum, but preferably as a systematic investment plan. And this is what is buying the dip, buying fear and holding it for the longer term. We'll be delving upon that a little later. So this is what I expect. Mangalwar hai to mangal hi hoga. A bounce in the Nifty and the Bank Nifty after sustained selling for the last 8 sessions. Let's remove yesterday's if you wish, and of course value buying and short covering, and the fact that the DIIs have purchased 1.2 times what FIIs have sold on a net basis. This is the broader structure of the market. We are waiting for Mr. Vineet Bolinshkar, Head of Research at Vendra Securities, to join us, and a little later Kunal V. Parar, Vice President for Technical Research at Choice Equity Broking, will also be with us. These are the 2 threads that we are looking for as far as markets are concerned. A very good morning to you, Vineet, and a very warm welcome. How do you feel about sentiment on Dalal Street? Is 22,800 the new support level for the Nifty, or is much worse on the cards?
So I believe that 22,800 is a temporary support in the carnage that we have seen happening. We should see the markets rally a bit as a relief rally, but there's a lot of more uncertainty in the market. So if 2,800 is to be taken out again, then we could see further downsides up till 21,000 going ahead.
Okay, fair point. So, according to you, this is a dead cat bounce, and the rally should move maybe towards 2,300 or so, and then beyond that, possibly heavy selling pressure might come in. Vineet, you're a classical stock picker in the sense that you buy fear and hold it on for a longer term. In your own interactions with HNIs and clients at Ventura Securities, what are you trying to tell them? Should they continue to convert large parts of their portfolio into cash, or are you helping them navigate this volatility by just doing nothing and waiting for the pain to ease out?
So, in our analysis, we have seen value emerge in certain pockets, which are stock specific, and that is where we are currently asking our investors to invest. Else, we find that the market is still quite, fairly valued. There is not much uh, availability of inefficiency in the market where you can make money out of it. So we think that going ahead, it is a very picky and choosy market, and we would be bottom up in our approach to investing, like always.
Fair point. It's a stock picker's paradise in the sense that you've seen the small cap index correct about 24%. The mid cap is also down about 20%. And the fact that many of the erstwhile market favorites have shed anywhere between 30 to 50%. Yes, this is a time to be cautious, and it is also a time to be rubbing your hands with glee when you look at prices that were there 5 months ago and what they are now. So, Vineet, tell us, where is your radar? What are you looking to buy even if you have not purchased? Maybe you are waiting for a better price, but sectors, stocks, themes, what looks good?
So, we like the theme of PSU banks very much. We see there's a lot of margin of safety out there. Uh, Among private banks, we think that Kotak its time has come. We've seen 3 years of sideways movement. The stock could do well from here. We like, although the AMC stocks are very, they might be taken in by the overall trend in the market that SIPs are not adequate. But we feel that, from a longer term perspective, the AMCs offer significant value. However, I'm not suggesting to buy them as yet, but definitely there's value, and one can look to add on declines. How to time them is that, during February and March, we have the tax sheltering that goes on. And during that periods on days of weakness is when you would be looking to buy them.
Fair point. So that's a broad theme. Kotak in particular, two important developments have happened in Kotak. One, the Reserve Bank of India has removed its regulatory cap preventing Kotak from accessing new customers, and has also removed the restrictions from Kotak's credit card business. That's a very, very, very big plus. And the fact that at a time in the last 5 years where the Nifty has given a stellar 2.5% return, Kotak has done nothing. So this is a quality stock, ladies and gentlemen, which requires and merits your attention. Again, take an independent view before you step into it, either on the long side or the short side. Within the PSU basket, what do you like best, Vineet? Two positives. There was a rate cut, and there is a considerable injection of liquidity by the Reserve Bank of India. Of course, numbers by PNB, by Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda in the third quarter were fantastic. What would be your top 2 or 3 picks in the PSU banking space?
We like Canara Bank. It's available at 0.7 times book, and it has a couple of businesses which are getting to monetize via the IPO route. One is the AMC and the uh, uh, there is a housing finance company, and there is another fintech which will get you know listed. So we believe that this stock offers significant
Yes.
upside potential and should be on your radar going ahead.
Yes, very well said about Canara Bank. I'll request the PCR to please fire the long-term chart of this particular stock. Remember, this is a 5-for-1 split on Canara Bank. The price of 84.85 that you see has to be multiplied by 5 to see the correct value. But this has been one of the very sharp price correctors in the market. It's somehow over the last 3 months or 1 year dropped 27%, but in the past 5 years it's appreciated 18% each year. So this is something that you can look at, available at, as Vineet very rightly says, a price to book of 0.8 and a price earnings multiple of 4.7. This is an interesting stock to discuss. So Canara Bank and Kotak plus a wealth of AMCs is what Vineet is requesting you to take a look into as far as individual stocks are concerned. Let me just dip into the pre-open trade. Vineet, I'll just be back with you in a jiffy. We are trying to open 31 points lower on the Nifty, 22,928. This is what we gained yesterday on a net basis. If you look at what the Nifty added after 8 days of fall, so we are more or less giving back what we took from the market. But what is really interesting is to see what are the stocks that are moving. Okay, HDFC Bank, the highest weighted stock, is 23 rupees lower, 1694. TCS is down 54 rupees, 3850. Bajaj Finance is down 26 rupees at 8400. And you have stocks in the green, which is ICICI Bank, 2 rupees 75 higher, L&T 8.8 higher. How about Reliance, flat, and how about Infosys in the green, 2.7% higher. That is how it's opened in the super index heavyweight space. Earnings led ABB 5% higher, 6% higher, now 10% higher, 5760. This is looking good. Max Health, an upgrade by CLSA, 3% higher, 1045. These are the stocks that immediately come to my mind. I'll very quickly dip into the F&O space and come back to Vineet. Okay, UBL 10% higher, 2230. You have Vedant 2.5% higher, 425.50. GMR Airports 2.5% higher, 72. So it's a nice shade of green across the board. The Nifty is now recovering, down just 9 points. Vineet, coming back to you, since we are meeting after a while, what do you make of this budget bonanza of 1 lakh crore rupees being handed out to the consuming class from April 1st onwards? Where do you think this money will flow in terms of consumer goods, in terms of purchases, if at all, or is it headed towards savings?
So part is going towards savings and part towards consumer durables primarily, and towards experiences. So I think hotel stocks and consumer durable stocks will do rather well, along with improvement in deposits. And partly this improvement in deposits is also going to lead to better CD ratio for banks, uh, enabling them to grow their book faster and to entice more credit growth to happen.
But, so typically, what would be stocks that you were looking at in the hotel space? What looks good in consumer durables, and in terms of savings, which are the stocks that are positively going to be impacted, Vineet?
So we like ITC hotels a lot. Although a lot of data is not available on them to do classical research, but if you do sizing way based on rooms and EBITDA, you will find that it is available at about 30% discount to Indian hotels. And while we think Indian hotels is not very cheap, we believe that ITC hotels could be a proxy to Indian hotels. It's among the top 3 hotels with rooms in inventory. And the other one that we like is Lemon Tree, which has about a 20 to 30% upside. So among the large caps or the bigger hotel stocks, I think these two look very good. On the consumption side, we like one company called Aditya Vision, which is a Bihar-based distributor of consumer durables. They have a very, very good business model, and any dips in the stock should be used to accumulate that stock.
Okay, Aditya Vision is right there in front of me. Let me draw the long-term chart. Okay, 540 is what we have seen as its peak, which is on 27th of December. This is a newly listed, newly minted stock, I believe, available definitely much below its listing day price of somewhere like 443. So at 384, any dips here should be accommodated. What do you like in Aditya Vision as far as prices are concerned, or the logic is concerned, Vineet?
So they're a very, very household name in the state of Bihar, which is expanding into nearby regions. And they differentiate their model from the other players by carrying inventory on their books. They're a very asset-light player, and household name in those markets. So we believe that as we said, the long tail of consumer consumption, their good margins, strict cost control, and swamping of the markets of Bihar and other areas. See, Bihar got electrified very late, and its per capita purchasing power is very low, but that is growing very fast, and there the ambition to come up to the national average will be much faster. So it's a very secular growth kind of market which should do very well, and obviously Aditya Vision will be a beneficiary of this.
Okay, while we are spending some quality time on Aditya Vision, let me just at the same time find out the IPO price of Aditya Vision. Just give me a moment. I think I have the wrong. What was the IPO price for Aditya Vision? Is this a company that's moved from SME to the main board?
Yeah, it's a SME listing which has gone to the main board, and so this was a 2016-17 listed stock. It used to quote in single digits on the SME, and then it has blasted to close to $5,000, from where it has retraced now down to 380, which is the adjusted price because of the split.
Okay, fine. Of course, sir. Thank you for that information. So, ladies and gentlemen, please keep that back-end price move in mind if at all you invest in Aditya Vision. We are now joined by Kunal V. Parar, Vice President Technical Research for Choice Equity Broking. Namaste Kunal ji, a very warm welcome. What are you expecting from the markets today? The Nifty is in a mild uptick, 4 points higher. The first fortnight of February has been terrible. What are your views on the market?
Good morning, Shailji. Well, my expectation is on upside only. Right now, in pre-opening, it is showing 22,963 level, and downside, Nifty has a strong support at 22,750. So we may expect some kind of bounce back in the Nifty up to the level of 23,300 to 23,450. So from the even if you talk about the RSI front, and it is forming some kind of bullish divergence, so one can expect a bounce back with the strong support of 22,750. Upper side 23,200 to 24,400 one can expect.
Okay. Any particular stocks that you look towards positively on the long or the short side, given that bounce that you expect?
Well, many stocks are there in which we have been seeing some kind of bounce back in large cap, mid cap, and small cap. But one stock is there which looks very attractive as of now. It's a Bajaj Finserv. Last traded price was 1890, and we have seen a very good upside momentum, particularly in this Bajaj counters, Bajaj Twins particularly. Right now, Bajaj in pre-opening, Bajaj Finserv is trading at 1892, had already given a breakout of its 1855 breakout
Hmm.
level. One can get into the stock at present level. Downside, we will keep SL at 1850. If we talk about target size, the first target comes at 1970, and if stock breaks this 1970, then further upside would be there up to the level of 2030. So in terms of risk reward, Bajaj Finserv looks very attractive.
Fair point. Let's get Vineet into this conversation. Vineet, there seems to be some consensus building on Bajaj Finserv. What do you think prompts this fancy for a fairly expensive stock at current levels?
So, I think the growth is going to come out from its subsidiary, which is Bajaj Finance. We think Bajaj Finance is very well positioned
Okay.
to grow from current levels. And, as we have been speaking on the consumption theme, they are one of the financiers of this consumption theme. And every outlet where you go,
Yes.
you will find Bajaj Finance there. And we think that this, with the, with the removal of the housing portfolio into a separate listed entity, I think that it's a pure proxy consumption play out there. And we think that the stock should do really well. If it gets steam above 8,500, then it will be above some of its all-time highs or near the all-time high levels. And from here, I expect the stock to get its mojo back of the historical growth rates that it had, upwards of 25-26%, is what I would expect this stock to grow going ahead.
Fair point. I think the underlying consumption theme is better explained as the reason behind the surge in Bajaj Finserv. Remember, it's the parent of Bajaj Finance, one of the best consumer financing companies that we've seen act over the last 15 years or so. Bajaj Finance itself is headed towards a record high in this kind of a dull market. In the year to date basis, which is from 31st of December 2024 to now, Bajaj Finance is the best performing stock on the Nifty, up about 20-21%. Within the large cap space, Vineet, anything that catches your fancy? We were supposed to have a rally in the large cap space. It doesn't seem to be happening. What looks good here? What are the themes that you're looking good at? Maybe autos, if at all?
So autos, there's a Damocles sword hanging over them that if India were to reduce the, strike a deal with Elon Musk and, the duties are lowered like they've done for bullion, then, we could have a slight of a jolt out there. But within that entire space, I think the two-wheeler space, especially driving of the fast growth of EVs, I think Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Auto is very well positioned to take that mantle out there. So we think that Bajaj Finance can outperform from the autos pack. I've told you about Kotak Bank as being a private banking space. HDFC Bank also looks reasonably valued now. So these are some of the names that come to mind when we think of stocks from the large caps that offer very high conviction on the upside.
Okay, fair point. That's a very sensible way to look at it. Bajaj Auto, Bajaj Finserv, Bajaj Finance. I think Hamara Bajaj is what Vineet really prefers. Fantastic. Let's get Kunal into the conversation. Kunal, Bajaj Auto for you. Among the winners yesterday, and also a stock that has corrected fairly sharply. What are the levels where you see Bajaj Auto consolidating at current prices of 8,500? Is the worst over?
Well, definitely one can say that worst is near to over. Right now, in pre-opening, it is trading at 8,510 level. in yesterday's trading session, it was from Hammer Candlesticks formation. So let's say if stock gives a breakout of its yesterday's high, which is placed at 8,552 level. So if stock sustain above this level, then we may see a confirmation from the Hammer Candlesticks formation, and afterwards, upside momentum would be there up to the level of 8,760. So one can get into the stock only if stock breaks this 8,552. Downside strong support comes at 8,380.
Okay, and a bit of a mathematics as far as Bajaj Auto is concerned. We've seen the stock correct 33% from its all-time high, which was almost 12,637, which we saw on again September 24th, and yesterday it went all the way down to 8,500. Please keep an eye out on this one. One of the best wealth creators in the large cap space has been Bajaj Auto over a span of the last 2.5 years. Somewhere in early 2023, the stock was at 3,800 and it went 4x or maybe 3.5x in a span of just 18 months. Let's get back to the market, ladies and gentlemen. We have the pre-open with us. 15 points lower on the Nifty, 20 points lower on the Nifty Bank. The IT index is now negotiating its 200-day DMA. It's a mild uptick in the green. Now let's look at the super index heavyweights. What are they doing? In the green, Axis Bank. Please keep an eye out on this one. 1 rupee 50 higher, 995. Let's look at Kotak. This is something that a lot many people are talking about, including Vineet. I'll request Kunal to keep a view on Kotak ready technically. 3 rupees 50 higher, 1948. ICICI Bank 290 higher, 1253. What is HDFC Bank doing? In the green, 2.4 higher at 1719. Please keep an eye out on Bank Nifty today. This is going to have a very, very nice bounce as far as technical charts are concerned. How about Reliance? 2 rupees 30 lower. What's in pain? TCS 9 rupees lower. Is SBI 4 rupees lower. Tata Motors 3 rupees lower. Bajaj Finserv 9 rupees lower. What is Bajaj Finance doing? Mildly in the red, 13 rupees lower. A very quick look at NSE 500. Okay. Now value buying is happening in TVS Supply Chain Solutions. Please keep an eye out on this one. 5% higher, 134. Persistent Systems 2.3% higher, 56.65. ABB, this is post earnings, 3.2% higher, 5,409. 5-Star Finance 2% higher, Westlife Food World 1% higher. Let's look at the FNO space and the most active space. Are there any names? Yes, there is Bharti Airtel leading from the front, 0.5% higher, 1683. This is the top traded counter as far as prices are concerned. To you, Kunal, Kotak Bank.
Sally, right now, Kotak Bank is trading at 1947. On a weekly chart, stock has already given a breakout of its symmetrical triangle formation. Since last 1 week, stock has been trading in a sideways momentum, but nothing to worry about this counter. On a larger time frame, stock has already given a breakout and it has been trading above all its long-term moving averages. So one can get into the stock at present level. Downside, the strong support comes at 1890, 1890. If you talk about upper side, first target comes at 2000, and if stock breaks this 2000 level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 2250. So this stock looks very attractive in terms of technical setup on a weekly chart.
Fair point. Vineet, anything that catches your fancy in the opening trades? What looks good?
No, I wouldn't want to dabble in this market, purely based on just the openings. I'll just wait my while on this.
Fair point. Fair. No issues. At the same time, let me just mention some more prices. So ABB, ladies and gentlemen, we need to watch out for. Already 50% of 5-day average is traded by, which is 280,000 shares, and Kunal will give us a chart check on ABB. This is now at 5432. Kunal, what are the charts of ABB telling us? in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll just get you the numbers for ABB.
Well, Selji, if we talk about ABB, right now ABB is trading at 5,450. Stock is forming double bottom formation on a daily chart. Downside, the support comes at 5,130. One can keep SL at 5,100. If you talk about neckline resistance, and neckline resistance comes at 5,850. So our first target would be at 5,850, and if stock breaks this neckline, then further upside would be there up to the level of 6,560. So in terms of risk reward, this stocks looks very attractive. Bullish divergence is there, double bottom is there. So all the sign goes for creating a long position only at present level with strict SL at 5,100.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, ABB reported its third quarter earnings yesterday. Sales rose 22% to 3,365 crores. They were up sequentially as well, and net profit surged 54% to 528 crores, up sequentially as well. Now comes the kicker. ABB actually, despite a very, very steep correction, Vineet, I'd want your views on it. We've seen a price of 9,146 on ABB. This was in June of 2024. From there, the correction has been to the extent of 44% in price. Is it attractive or still overly expensive at current valuations? PE is 62. Vineet, ABB.
Yeah, I think ABB will do very well. It has got all the sweet spots going for it. We believe that it is one of the good proxy plays on the India electrification story, and hence, looking to, definitely would recommend buying into it.
Okay. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the favorite theme of the market at some point of time was capital goods shares. And you had seen a massive rally in ABB, Siemens, Elcon Engineering. Anything and everything that goes behind making a factory was in top shape. And then at the peak of this cycle, there was this series of sector-specific thematic funds that came up. And that signified the peak. And from then on, as I have said, it's not only ABB, but stocks such as Siemens, Thermax, and many others, which have corrected anywhere between 25 to 44% in the case of ABB. So, one must learn the fact that in the longer run, it's not sentiment and liquidity, it is only valuation that matters. 922. Kunal, anything that you've spotted?
Well, at this level, we have been witnessing some kind of volatility in the market. Nifty is down by 58%, VIX is up by 2%. So, but obviously, volatility will be there. And in this volatility, I think one to two stocks are there which looks very attractive. First is Apollo Hospital right now. Apollo Hospital is trading at 6,358 level. Overall, stock has taken the support of its previous bottom on a weekly chart. Even during yesterday's trading session, it formed bullish Marubozu candlesticks formation with above average volume. So it indicates clearly bullish reversal formation momentum in the counter. One can get into the stock in Apollo Hospital at present level. Right now, stock is trading at 6,357. Downside support comes at 6,150. If you talk about upper side target, then first target comes at 6,570. And if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 7,000. So as per the yesterday's candlesticks formations, this stocks looks very attractive. One more stock is there which looks very attractive. It's a TechM right now. It is up by 1%, and overall rhythm is there in positive side in the IT counters. And the way TechM has been trading on a daily chart, even yesterday's trading session, it formed have a candlesticks formation. It has been trading above its 100 days and 200 days moving averages on a weekly charts. So this stock looks very attractive for a medium term to long term. One can get into the stock at present level. Downside support comes at 1630. If you talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 1725. And if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 1800. So TechM and Apollo Hospital both looks very attractive on a weekly and daily chart.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at 9:24. The first 7-8 minutes of trade is done. Now let us look at the Nifty. The Nifty for the moment is 65 points lower, and 65 points lower essentially means that it is trying to take a breather from yesterday's very arduous journey. Remember, it hit a low of 22,740. From then it went all the way up to 22,930. So maybe a part of those gains are being taken away by the market, but hectic activity on Maruti, on Policy Bazaar. Policy Bazaar in particular, Vineet, I am coming to you. Is the worst of the sell-off over, or given the froth that was in the share, you still expect it to head lower?
So Policy Bazaar is, for me, we've seen the stock come back up a bit. The selling might be over in this stock. See, they are getting into the hospital space, and that may not be taken very kindly by the market because they're getting into uncharted territory, although it is more into line with health. So I would want to wait on this. I think that the stock has been expensive, and so would want to just wait on this before volunteering any opinion.
Fair point, no issues at all. Now the dip becomes a little more pronounced. 71 points lower on the Nifty. We are below 22,900. The Bank Nifty is 215 points lower. Let's look at the wider market in terms of advanced decline ratios. So far in the first 10 minutes of trade, it favors bears. 751 shares are in the green, 1480 are in the red. So it's an easy 1:2. We track 19 indices for you, ladies and gentlemen. All 19 are in the red. The PSU banking index is down 1.2%. Energy index is down 1%. How about small cap and mid cap? Down about 1 percentage point each. Coming to you, Vineet, a 24% fall on the small cap index, a 20% fall on the mid cap index. Is the worst behind us?
No, sir, not yet. Because in large number of stocks, the valuations are just about, matching our FY27 targets. So we think that there is still some correction to go. And, I would be expecting much lower valuations from here too.
Okay, no issues at all. Let's look at the Nifty IT index for a moment. Yesterday's test was of 200-day DMA. Anything that catches your fancy, Vineet, on the IT space? You've been an IT bear for a while, given the preponderance of artificial intelligence that might hit the prospects of Indian IT majors. Your view on IT stocks? Anything that catches your fancy?
So I think persistent systems is what I would go with. But apart from that, continue to remain, stay away from IT stocks.
Okay. Persistent, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out two particularly strong themes. Persistent and Coforge. Let's first take Persistent. Persistent is the second largest mid-cap holding by mutual funds in the mid-cap space. And what's really good is that it's corrected fairly substantially. 6,700 was the peak on 23rd of December. From then on, we've seen 5,300 as of yesterday. Will funds come and save their net asset values? Only time will tell. But that's a theme that's worked brilliantly for both Coforge and Persistent over the last so many months, so many years. Kunal, what are the charts of Persistent telling you?
Well, right now, Persistent is trading at 5,665 level. Stock has a strong support, 5,430 level. Even before stock took the support of the same, and afterwards it went up to the level of 6,500. So stock looks very attractive on a daily chart. Even if you talk about weekly chart, stock has been trading about 50 days, 50 and 100 weeks moving averages, and it has also strong support of its previous bottom as well on a weekly chart. So in terms of risk reward, in terms of bullish reversal, and in terms of all the equation, it is only looking for means one can only looking for the buy side only. One can get into the stock at 5,665. Downside the support comes at 5,380. If you talk about upper side target, first target comes at 5,950, and if stock breaks this level, then the 6,300 would be there. So in terms of risk reward, this stock looks very attractive.
Okay, now please look at the background on Persistent. What you see is a price earnings multiple of 64.6. If you look at the 5-year price earnings multiple, that's somewhere in the vicinity of, let me tell you the 10-year one. The 10-year PE multiple is 21. So it's way above its 10-year median. What is the 5-year median? Again 42. So please keep this in mind. Plus what you see is a 1-for-1 split. So the actual price of Persistent is somewhere like 56 into 2. That's 11,400 for you almost. So this is that needs to be kept in mind. Something that Vineet has been tirelessly pointing out, that large parts of the market remain overvalued, and you must keep that in mind when you try to buy the bottom. 66 points lower on the Nifty, 303 points lower on the Bank Nifty. Before we let you go, Vineet, any closing comments that you have?
So I think, we will see the market drift upwards. We've seen a lot of selling by the FIs finally being overcome by the institutional investors. We expect the market to drift upwards, but it's only going to be a kind of a relief rally before, the downtrend resumes. The problem is of twofold. One is the stress in the international markets with Trump up to all his antics. And second is valuations still remain a concern in India.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vineet. With that classic overriding catalyst, valuations still are a concern. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to meet you fairly soon in Mumbai. We'll catch up on a cup of coffee, if not something stronger.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Coming back to Kunal, the first 15 minutes have lapsed. The Nifty is slipping, 1/3% lower at 81 points. Let's look at some outperformers that you have in terms of volume. Apart from ABB, let's look at some other volume busters that have come in early trade. Yes, this is interesting. TVS Supply Chain Solutions, 134. Your view, Kunal, on this stock. Let's just discuss some quality here, because this is one from a group which has created lots of wealth, and this is also available below its IPO price. But your view at 134, the company got listed somewhere like 205, 197 on August 2023.
Well, Selji, if we talk about this stock, it looks attractive on hourly chart. Right now, it is trading at 134 level. Stock has a strong support 125 level. Even before it took the support of the 7, afterwards it went up to the level of 155. So this reward is in favor for creating a long position on the present level with strict stop loss of 125. One can expect a good upside momentum up to the level of 145, and afterwards we can see a momentum up to the level of 155. So definitely one can go for creating a long position in this counter.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the IPO of one second, let me just the IPO of TVS Supply Chain Solutions came at about 180. It came at 197 rupees. And it got listed on August 23, 2023 at a price which was just about there, 200 rupees. From then on, the stock is now available below its IPO price, substantially below its IPO price. And let me see if I can get you the third quarter earnings of TVS Supply Chain. Okay, that's the reason it slipped into a loss. So for the third quarter of December 2024, it reported a loss of 23.8 crore rupees versus a year ago profit of 10 crores. So it swung into a loss. And of course, sales rose 10% at 2,445 crores, but that's the reason. Please keep the stock on your radar. A swing towards profit and profitability might be just the godsend opportunity for you to buy this fairly decent company at a substantially reduced price than its IPO. What's moving? It's Godfrey Phillips after a fabulous set of earnings that were announced over the weekend. Yesterday the counter was up 18%. Godfrey Phillips for you, Kunal.
If you look at the Godfrey Phillips chart right now, stock is trading at 7,170 level, and during yesterday's trading session, it gave a very smart move. And right now, his stock is facing some strong resistance at 7,380 level. If stock breaks this 7,380 level, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 8,521. So I'm not recommending to go for long at present level. If anybody has this stock in portfolio, please hold as of now. We will have very good upside momentum afterwards this 7,450 level.
Okay, that's the broader theme that you are talking about. Kunal, we've just had 20 minutes of trade. Anything that catches your fancy? What looks good?
Well, if we talk about overall market, if we talk about stock specific, then we have been witnessing some downside momentum since morning the Nifty, but one to two stocks are there
Hmm.
which look attractive, and one is Maruti. Maruti is trading at 12,843 level. If we talk about its daily chart right now, the way stock has been trading above its 50 days moving average, further upside would be there. Even during yesterday's trading session, it took the support of 12,580 level of its super trend value. So we may see some kind of bounce back in the counter for upcoming trading session. One can get into the stock at present level with a strict stop loss at 12,500. If we talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 13,150, and if stock breaks this 13,150, then 13,500 would be there. So Maruti looks very attractive in this negative sentiment of the overall market.
Okay, let me just show you Kotak Bank. This is something which is now doing well. Some of the charts are really good on Kotak, but we've discussed that both with Vineet as well as with our friend Kunal. On the move, Bajaj Finserv and how. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bajaj Finserv is a proxy play to the theme of consumer financing. Let's look at the chart. 4 days of gains, 5 days of gains, and this is looking really, really good. Kunal, your immediate comment on Bajaj Finserv?
Well, Sanjeev, if we talk about Bajaj Finserv, this stock looks very attractive on a daily chart, and we have already discussed on this chart. I think the way stock has been trading, one can get into the stock at present level. Stock has been trading about its 50 days moving average. It has also given a breakout of its 1850 level. Even on a weekly chart, it has been trading about its 100 and 200 weeks moving average. So overall rhythm is in positive side only. One can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss at 1850. If we talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 1950 and stock breaks this level, then one way upside momentum would be there up to the level of 2100.
Okay. Remember, Bajaj Finserv is the holding company of Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finserv controls 51.3% stake in Bajaj Finance, which itself is, as I was pointing out earlier, doing pretty well. So keep an eye out on Bajaj Finserv. I think the all-time high was somewhere like 2031. Let me just sort of check that out. Yes, that was somewhere in 27th of September again. That was when the market peaked. We are already at 1900, so this is looking really, really good as far as charts are concerned. And of course, the broader underlying theme, which is running the stock price. One more thing I want to check with you is Manappuram Finance, a very high beta counter, 1% higher at 194, despite a terrible, terrible set of earnings for the third quarter. Manappuram, Kunalji.
Well, right now, stock is trading at 193 level above its 50 days moving average. Since last 4 to 5 days, we have been witnessing some high volatility in the counter. But the way stock has been trading above its 50 days moving average, I think based on this MA, we may see some kind of bounce back momentum in the counter. If you talk about upper side level, then 200 would be the first target, and stock breaks this 200, and further upside would be the, up to the level of 210. Downside support comes at 188, so risk reward is in favor of creating a long position only at present level.
Mm. Okay. So Manappuram and Bajaj Finserv are doing pretty well. ABB continues to be the top performing stock in terms of volume, and as I have pointed out, it was earnings led. So ABB, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you need to also see it is that's not only is it available well below its 200-day DMA, it's so available around its 365-day exponential moving average, and the volume is something to be really, really looked forward to. Let me just give you an idea. ABB volumes are already 2 times the 5-day average. We've had 9 lakh shares traded on ABB so far, and TVS Supply Chain Solutions has 3.5 times its 5-day average traded at 32 lakh 87 lakh shares. So this is value buying after a substantial fall, and in the case of ABB at least driven by strong earnings. Is this a value trap? Only time will tell. Is this something which you may want to add to your portfolio? I think TVS Supply Chain Solutions maybe yes, but again please take an independent view. No stocks have hit their all time high today. How about 52-week highs? None. Okay, no issues. Infosys meanwhile is growing strong, 1% higher at 1855.95. L&T Mindtree is 2.3% higher. Tech Mahindra is in the green. IT, as I have said, the index is negotiating its 200-day DMA, and therefore you see a lot of hectic activity on the link side. People are wanting that 200-day DMA to hold. Okay, Persistent is the top gainer, 3.1% higher. L&T Mindtree 2.3% higher. Tech Mahindra 1.35% higher. Wipro, Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech are also bringing up the rear. This is okayish kind of a development as far as markets are concerned. Anything that catches my fancy? Let me just look at the best performing stocks today. Sunlight. Any names that I'd like to take? Maybe Borosil Renewable, 5% higher at 500. ABB we've decided. We've talked about. Godfrey Phillips, yes. I look at Senco Gold. This has been one of the major pain points. 336 for you, and the stock has corrected, ladies and gentlemen, from 750. This price you saw on 1st of October, and last 2 days have been accompanied by very, very sharp volumes. I'd rather not check Senco Gold because lots of negative buzz around it, but I'm just mentioning that this is something that's buzzing in the market. Kunalji, 943, anything that you are observing?
Overall market, is trying to recover its, losing momentum from the bottom. Right now, Nifty is just minus by 30 points. Before it was down by 90 points. And if you talk about overall market, HDFC Bank, Maruti, HCL Tech, Infosys, Reliance, all are trading at day high. So we may see a good upside momentum in the market at overall space. I think one can keep an eye on HDFC Bank. Right now, HDFC Bank is trading at 1722. We have already talked about Kotak Bank, but even HDFC Bank looks very attractive at present level on a daily chart. The way stock has been trading above its, the way stock has been trading above its long-term moving averages on a weekly chart, and recently it has also taken the support of its, lower super trend value. So we may see a good upside momentum in the counter. Not only this, stock has also formed bullish engulfing candlesticks formation during yesterday's trading session. So all the equation goes in favor for creating a long position only at present level. One can get into the stock at present level. Downside support comes at 1680. If you talk about first target comes at 1760, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level 1835. So HDFC Bank looks very attractive, and why I am suggesting only for large cap counters this morning, because market is trading at very strong support, and if all the large cap counters are performing well, then the Nifty automatically itself will give you a good upside momentum. So please focus as of now on the large cap counters only.
Any names that you would suggest apart from Bajaj Finserv and Kotak that we've already discussed?
As we said, HDFC Bank looks very attractive on a daily chart. One can get into the stock. Not only this, Apollo Hospital and TKM also we discuss. Apollo Hospital right now is trading at 6,355. Even this stock looks very attractive. One can get into the stock in Apollo Hospital. Apollo Hospital trading about 20 days, 50 days moving average. And if we also discussed Tech Mahindra, it is right now it is up by 1.43%, trading at 1688. So Apollo Hospital, Tech HDFC Bank, Maruti, this four stocks looks very attractive on a daily chart.
Okay, that's doing pretty well as far as prices are concerned. In terms of markets, 946, Kotak in top shape, 1953, 0.5% higher. What else is buzzing that I'd like to point out for you? ABB we have discussed many times. Zen Technologies, the management is going to be with us shortly at 11 a.m. to discuss very tepid set of earnings. Another 10% for you, and this is painful. 982. Remember, 10% is the circuit filter for this one, and the price is now back to June 2024 lows. 2600 was the most recent high on 24th of December, and let me just give you a percentage fall from that itself. It's a 63% correction, 62 definitely. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how the market punishes overvaluations. Zen Technologies very recently came up with a sequential fall in both sales and net profit, although they rose handsomely year on year. But the market is looking for a consistent performance, and that is where Zen sort of failed to impress the markets. Even at current levels, if you look at Zen Technologies PE, it's 45, price to book is 6. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is something that you need to look at. Any view on Zen Technologies, Kunal?
Well, if we talk about Zen Technologies, right now stock is trading at 822 level, and it has been trading above its 50 days moving average. Not only this, it has been also trading above its also trading in a upper rising channel formation. So one can get into the stock at present level. Right now, downside support, strong support comes at 800 level. And if you talk about upper side target, first target comes at 880, and if stock breaks this 880, then further upside would be there up to the level of 950. So Risk reward is in favor for creating a long position only. Not only this, moving averages, chart pattern formations, and weekly chart. This formation also in the side of bullish formation only. So 800 would be the strict SL for creating a long position.
This is something that I need to mention, that preferential Zen recently did a preferential offer also on maybe 2-3 months ago, and that preferential is now in terrible pain. Anyway, we'll be meeting the management at 11, and this is where you need to listen into as far as prices are concerned. Okay, again the Nifty is recovering, and it's recovering mainly because of Reliance and Infosys. Reliance is contributing 5 points to the uptick on the Nifty. HDFC Bank again 5 points, Infosys 12 points. The good part is that both the Bajaj twins are in top shape, as is Kotak. So while the Nifty overall advanced decline is very painful, but the index heavyweights are doing very well, and that's the reason why you see this green tick 22,948. So let's look at the Nifty recovery from today's low. Like I said, मंगलवार है तो मंगल ही होगा. And look at the 10-minute chart. Okay, the low today was 22,870 almost. From then on, it's a very modest uptick, but an uptick nonetheless, driven by HDFC Bank, driven by Infosys, Reliance at day's high. So maybe 22,900 option call. Let me just see what is that trading at today. Let's just get into options and option chain, and then look at we are on 18th Feb, and let's look at the 27th Feb expiry, and 22,900. 22,900 is trading at the call is trading at 282. Let's try and make a chart for this one. Kunal, I'll request your view on this one, please. Let's look at 22,900 February 27th call on the Nifty, now priced at 2,300 rupees. What is your view?
Well, if you talk about the overall market, and if you talk about Nifty, I think we may see a good some upside momentum in the Nifty itself, as we talk already. And Nifty has a strong support of 22,750, and based on this momentum, we can see a further upside momentum. And right now, 2,200, 900, 27th monthly expiry. I think further upside momentum would be there in this call option. Downside strong support comes for this call option is at the 210 level. Even it's on option premium during yesterday's trading session form have a candlestick formation. So even this particular formation, talk about some bounce back momentum in the call option. One can get into the option at present level with strict SL of 210 level. Now SL is at little bit lower level, but nothing to worry about, because if sharp rally is there, then we may see a good upside momentum up to the level of 430 to 500 level. So in these terms, risk reward is in favor for creating a long position only. One can get into this 22,900 monthly expiry with strict SL of 210 level.
Okay, now I need to I'm just checking PCR, were we able to fire that 22,900 call? Can we again see it if it's possible? 22,900 call on expiring on February 27th. I just need to mention one particular thing. Yes, okay, 271. Now, ladies and gentlemen, comes the kicker. 22,900 call expiring almost 1,100 rupees on 8th of Jan. and it slumped all the way down to 215 yesterday, and this is when a swing trade in the making is a possibility. So keep this in your radar. 22,900 270 call for the next 1 or 2 days. Let us see what happens. What else is buzzing at 9:54? Time to wrap up the markets. It's a modest uptick on the Nifty from intraday lows, although still in the red. 43 points lower. Nifty Bank 199 points lower. In thick trade are the IT stocks, mainly because the Nifty IT index is negotiating its 200-day moving average. That's a positive because IT also helps Nifty from the inside. What is in good shape? ABB, multi-month low, strong quarterly earnings, top traded counter, very heavy volumes and good price. Persistent also bouncing as a part of the IT thing that is in the market. What's in pain? Zen Technologies. The management will be joining us shortly at 11 a.m. Please keep it in your radar. Again 10% lower, and this time it's consistent selling. 972 is the price. Already 200 crores worth of transactions have happened. What else would I like to mark? Maybe Policy Bazaar, 3.5% higher, 1549. These are the prices that I see. Overall, the market is still in the firm grasp of bears. And how is that visible? We'll just take a detour into the advanced decline. Now only 538 shares are in the green. Remember, till about 45 minutes ago, there were 700 shares in the green. 1831 are in the red. So it slips, the advanced decline ratio slips in favor of bears for 1:3. For every one stock in the green, 3 are in the red. Apart from the IT index, which is in the green, the remaining 18 indices are in the red. Selling continues on small cap index, now down 1.3%. Mid cap index down almost 1%. Nifty Metal, Nifty PSU Bank, Nifty Alpha 50 are again down between 1.2 and 1.3%. So it's not looking good on the broader side, but there is still hope left. Kunal, your closing comments before we draw to a close.
Well, right now Nifty is down by 50 points. Means we are seeing some kind of volatility in the index, but I think it will get settled down after this 10 a.m. And overall, if we talk about overall market, then as we said, 22,750 is the strong support. So if anybody has a long position in the Nifty, please hold this long position with strict stop loss of 22,750. We may see a good upside momentum up to the level of 23,200 to 22,400 in upcoming trading session.
Okay. 9:57, ladies and gentlemen, we'll draw to a close. Thank you so much, Kunal. But news continues unabated on the other end of the break. Keep an eye out on 11 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Alturi, the CMD and promoter of Zen Technologies, will be with us. He'll be defending the third quarter performance, although the market has given its verdict. Third successive 10% downtick on the stock, now at a June low available at 972, but nobody seems to be interested on the buy side. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll pause for a moment and then I'll be back with you at 11 a.m. Thank you so much.
Days after meeting Prime Minister Modi in Washington, D.C., Elon Musk, headed the U.S. Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has cancelled $21 million in funding, earmarked for voter turnout initiatives in India. The cancelled allocation was part of a larger sum of $486 million intended for the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, or CEPPS.